Hi Cancer, your March 2024 tarot reading. You're the 8th sign I've read for in this series, Cancer, and you're the only sign that has gotten only major arcana cards so far. So March is going to be a groundbreaking month for you. It's a really big deal. It's advantageous. The Wheel of Fortune is the card coming through for March. I'll be clearing all of these cards up. The Wheel of Fortune speaks to a change in circumstance, the upward spiral, fortune kind of working with you. The universe, you may feel more than ever before, conspiring in your favor. As we end the month of March and head for the eclipse, on March 25th, the Fool card, the first card of the deck coming through, indicating a period of major soul growth centered around a new beginning in your world. A really important and obvious new beginning, fresh start, clean slate, new territory, an adventure. Something that is uncharted for you as of now. And with eclipses, always in astrology, they pertain to destiny, beginnings and endings, pivotal turning points, and really marked times in our life. Before that, let's glance at February. Let's pull some more cards to clear this up. Justice card coming through for February. Some of the paperwork, some of the legalities and the consequences that you weren't expecting to fully be dealing with at this time came through for you to have a look at in February. So for some of you, you were dealing with something like a case or a file or something that was tied up or held up. Paperwork, courts, legal systems. Some of you were dealing with more contracts or legally binding agreements or just paperwork that you kind of weren't expecting to have to deal with at this time. There was probably a lot more fine print involved behind the scenes for you that when you took this on or when this became part of your everyday life or landed on your doorstep even, you probably didn't foresee how much decision making there was going to be coming up with this, or how consequential your actions and your role in all of this would be. So it looks like it went favorably. We'll clear it up. The Justice card upright speaks to things working out well overall, making good decisions for yourself, things playing out the way they should. And at the bottom of the deck, there are even two more major arcana cards. They're both in reverse, the Hermit and the Star. What happened before February, I think that this is going back a little further even, was a period of introspection, withdrawal, searching for a deeper meaning behind everything. The Star card in reversal can be a huge disappointment, it can be crushing, or it can just be a distaste that you had for humanity, the world around you. It probably wouldn't be hard. The Hermit card in reversal is a deep introspection to the point of withdrawal into yourself, hermit mode, right into that Cancerian shell, and you needed to be pulled out of that, I think. And this could be going back to December, January, early February, but this kind of like deep withdrawal into yourself was necessary, of course, and it's also set you up for a much more advantageous, fortunate, optimistic, fast-moving and fresh new beginning and adventure that's awaiting you from March onwards. So let's get into this reading and let's pull a few more cards for you. Justice card. Maybe you've been dealing with the Libra lately. Maybe you've been dealing with an issue that kind of began for you in October and October of 2023, and finally it's solved. Finally everything's laid out on the table and it kind of makes sense. Let's see what is this Justice card all about. the Nine of Swords in reverse, and the Three of Pentacles. Another major arcana card at the bottom of the deck, the Devil card. So when major arcana comes up in a reading, it suggests that this is a more profound soul growth phase in your life. There's more leveling up, there's more rising to the challenge, there's more breakthrough, and there's more transformation, overall evolution. And things can feel either intense, or they can feel heavy, or they can feel extreme during these more profound times in our life. There's a season for everything, Cancer, and for whatever reason, this is fate here, the Wheel of Fortune, destiny. Whatever reason that this is all happening for is for this. You're supposed to be at a certain place at a certain time on your individual soul journey and timeline. So circumstances are unfolding for you in perfect timing, even if that brings with it some intensity, introspection, disgust, and perhaps it brings with it adventure, new beginnings, optimism, and a lust for life. But whatever it is, it's for you to be at a destination at a certain time. And March surely speaks to that, actually. Okay, crushing fears, love to see it, crushing them. The Nine of Swords in reverse with the Three of Pentacles. Try to have patience with other people. Is that what you've been doing? I feel like that is what has been coming through for you as you have been adulting, as you have been dealing with the consequences of circumstance, of the real shit in life, and the paperwork, the like pulling the, like the, I don't know, the orchestration maybe, what am I trying to say, like the principles in place, laying down the law, foundational, like you've been really integral in being the grown-up here, I think, Cancer. And you know, you've had to really learn to be patient with other people. I feel like there's some younger people here, and it's kind of like your inner child, your inner teen, and you're like looking at this side of yourself recently, and you can't help but notice how wise you feel and how much you understand that version of yourself. But there are other people in your life coming up. They're younger than you, siblings, children, youths, just people that you might be kind of mentoring or guiding or assisting at this time, that you can't help but feel like it's like that real, like you feel much more wise and older, and like, and I don't know, you're looking at them and thinking like, I need to learn to have more patience with these people because they're still learning. I really think that. The Nine of Swords in reversal. So I feel like there has been a basically accident of some sort that really ended up for some of you being a very close call in February, where it was like, okay, that could have been a lot worse. But for some of you, something was damaged, and in this version we're seeing a dish cracked, and it's actually quite a big deal. Upright, the Nine of Swords can be talking about something that we're kind of spiraling on, or may not even come to pass in a way that would like make you nervous or freak you out. But in the reversal, something did actually transpire, and you gained a lot of wisdom from it, but you actually had to really deal with this in ways that I think you weren't expecting. Sure, it's made you more mature. Sure, it's kind of added to your wisdom, and through the kind of, we gain wisdom quite oftentimes through quite cathartic experiences. We gain wisdom through something that ill effects to our reputation, something that we're up against legally, a divorce, getting fired, a loss. We gain wisdom through these circumstances, but it doesn't make it easy. again, it's part of what's leading up to this adventure and finally a big upward swing for you come March. And you're like this kind of like, look at the expression on this person's face here. They're like, oh, these kids, they don't know the half of it. I'll give them a few more years, or I'll wait till they're my age, kind of a thing. And you do feel like more expert, more knowledgeable now. So through the recent experiences of either an accident, a close call, or something that is, in a sense, broken, you have gained so much wisdom, and you're the person that kind of handled all of this. Does that make it easy? I don't necessarily think so. But with the Justice card, sometimes it is just what it is. That's what the Justice card says. This is the consequence. This is the reality. The tide is changing though. March and April look really different, and in a really positive way. So Pisces season brings about it an element of destiny and an element of synchronization. A bigger trip could come up, a bucket list achievement, something that feels like pinch me. Is this real? Something that seems like a dream come true. But if it's more subtle, the Wheel of Fortune speaks to that kind of wheel of life, the circle of life. Sometimes we're down, but there are times when we're on the way back up, and then there's some times where we're just like soaring higher and higher. So let's look a little deeper into that. At this point, you could be dealing with another Pisces, or with a Pisces indeed, or a Sagittarius. The Strength card, the Three of Swords. The Strength card is Major Arcana, and another Major Arcana, the Tower, at the bottom of the deck. The Devil card at the bottom of the deck earlier was like, yeah, you're crushing those fears. The Star card and the Hermit card in reversed at the bottom of the deck, more Major Arcana, were like that period of introspection, that period of withdrawal, reclusivity. You were pulled out, but you really had to look at the bleakness of something. The Tower to me now at the bottom of the deck is like, life is very unpredictable at times. The shit hits the fan, and sometimes the rug is pulled from under us. And the Strength card would be here to say that if that's the case for you, March is a time where you really gain a lot of control over your fears, where you gain a lot of strength, of course, where you feel more resilient. It's always nice to be called strong, is it? It implies oftentimes that there is a need to be strong, and sometimes that can feel challenging, but it is part of being a human being, because resiliency is something that is just so innate to us, and we have a very strong survival instinct. You might have felt recently, Cancer, that those instincts and those skills and the very core of your being as a human being here, you're like, can I take this? Is this going to crush me? Is the Tower going to bring everything down? The Three of Swords. Oftentimes we see this with a heart and 3 daggers piercing it, 3 swords. This is a little gentler, a tomato being pierced by pasta. Okay, so you're going to be learning over time the upward swing in everything, all areas of your life almost, all of the parts of your life, your career, your mental health, your skills, your talents, your hobbies, your relationships, your money. I would go as far as to say that during March, they all take a swell. They all improve, some more than others, some more noticeably than others, but it is that month for you, I'm seeing this only for your sign, Cancer, where actually everything improves for you in March. And you may say, well, couldn't get any worse in that particular area of life. Okay, so that's good. It's not going to, by the looks of things. The Strength card is really here to show you that you will conquer these fears, and you will find your inner strength, and you'll rise to the challenge. But let those tears flow when they need to too. The release of that pain and disappointment, it could have been around a loss or a betrayal or a setback. That's okay to let that out. The Three of Swords, like all threes, actually signify a lot of healing and growth. Okay, and we have the Three of Pentacles there as well. A little more mundanely, and it's kind of hard for me to speak on this reading mundanely because of all the major arcana energy. Like, sometimes like when you do a reading and it's all major arcana, you're like, I don't know, it's so specific to each person's soul growth. So just take what resonates and leave the rest, I guess, from this reading. More mundanely, I feel just like paperwork was a big thing for you in February. Maybe like us here in the US, you're filing taxes in February, tax season's beginning. Things are kind of just like tying up. You're being more like adult about things. You're kind of dealing with things, kind of dealing with things on behalf of other people, I think, as well. Whether they're people in your duty of care, your children, your parents, and just dealing with things for other people. A sense of friendship emerging for you in February, a sense of like belonging to a society, a group, or some of you are tradespeople, craftsmen, some people are artisan, and feeling like you're really like working with a team very well. And March isn't mundane, so I won't even go there. It's about riding a high tide. Maybe it's a good time to plan a trip. Maybe it's a good time to take a trip. Maybe it's a good time to spin the wheel. The Fool card, another major arcana card. The Sun moves into Aries and leaves Pisces around the 19th or 20th, depending where you are. And that begins the vernal equinox, which is a portal of equilibrium and new beginning, initiation. It's the beginning of the zodiacal new year. So it's a time where seeds are being sown and something is starting. So the Fool card here coming through with a very potent new beginning. Let's see what that's about. Okay, so I have the Seven of Swords, and what do you know, another major arcana card with the High Priestess. So the Seven of Swords speaks to, in a sense, being in the wrong place at the right time. There's something about this being a little out of the ordinary for you, where you are embarking on a kind of like radical new journey, a lot of you, or it is exciting. There's just a message here of caution, because you're probably going to get very swept up in the excitement, optimism and exuberance of all of this. So the important thing to do is plan accordingly. This Seven of Swords is a little foolhardy at times, or just underprepared for what's coming, and probably there may not be a lot you can do about that, because it could be coming up unexpectedly or in a quick way. It's just something to kind of bear in mind. The High Priestess, though, coming through is saying that you'll feel very intuitively one way or another whether or not that this feels right, and actually it probably will be what's in highest and best. The Fool card coming through with an eclipse and a new beginning, but the High Priestess would really be saying, like, trust in your intuition and follow things through as they feel right for you at that time. Well, Cancer, thank you so much for watching. I'll link below your year ahead reading for 2024, and also the latest astrology video of Pluto's ingress into Aquarius.